sustainability means to me. How many people do you know take medications on a daily basis and depend on them? How many times have you been to the doctor and been prescribed a multitude of prescriptions for little small ailments? This pertains to me on a personal level, not only because of me, but because of my daughter. This has had a great impact on what sustainability means to me as a whole. Medications are handed out today like candy, not knowing the dangerous side effects, the addiction, and the resistance to these medications. Sustainability to me means the ability to preserve necessary resources to allow for survival of all living things. This requires change and acknowledgement worldwide. Without change, this is devastating for our future generations. We tend to take for granted the resources that are available to us and not pay attention to the unforeseen or the unknown aspects of these resources. I have dealt with addiction on a personal basis. I also feel that my daughter has been a guinea pig for multiple medications that have been prescribed to her for ADHD. These are medications that have been approved by the FDA to give our children. My three main points today are addiction, side effects, and resistance. Addiction. Pain pills in general are prescribed to athletes and after surgery or an injury. The refills are fairly easy to get, and these pain pills have found their way to the street being sold as a drug. I've dealt with this personally. I was at one point addicted to pain pills. Long-term side effects. I can relate in a manner of my daughter. There has been certain medications that she has been prescribed that are now showing up on TV commercials as lawsuits, class action lawsuits that pertain to society's children as a whole. This is a problem because I didn't do the research. Is it going to affect my daughter in the future? I don't know. Another aspect is resistance. Resistance pertaining to antibiotics. Antibiotics are being prescribed for viruses. Antibiotics don't fight viruses. They fight bacteria and infection. I am completely guilty of taking antibiotics, feeling better, and not finishing my prescription. This cannot happen. I'm also guilty of not taking my antibiotics 1, 2, and 3 times a day. This has to be something that we all acknowledge and make a change for, because antibiotics, our bodies are becoming resistant. The bacteria is becoming resistant. Therefore, antibiotics in the future, if we don't make a change now, are not going to be effective at all. We really need to weigh the pros and cons and do the research and be proactive for any medications that we are putting in our body. Our future generations depend on us. We have the ability to do the research and to know what the outcome should be or maybe could be. Therefore, allowing them, as said before, we can preserve the necessary resources to allow for survival of all living things. We need to make that change. We need to acknowledge it. And we need to pay attention to the unforeseen and unknown aspects of all medications that we are putting in our body. It deeply concerns me with vaccinations and medications that I have given my children per recommendation.